This will be game 10 under his leadership. The Chicago area native managing the team he grew up watching. I had a chance to sit down with Mike Quade earlier today. You look like you're having a lot of fun.
And I am. And for a lot of reasons. I mean, we've played pretty well, and that always helps. You know, nothing like winning. And, you know, you can't hope to get an opportunity like this for as long as I have and not enjoy the ride, you know, whatever takes place. And I'm comfortable, and I can't tell you how important the foundation I had all those years in the minor leagues managing is, how much it's helped me. But, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
Sometimes in these situations, the AAA managers brought up, and you might have been in that spot 5 or 6 years ago, but what advantage did you have having been on this staff for 3.5 years?
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things I think that go into this, and you and I have talked about the process of getting ready for a series and stuff, and there's a lot of things. First of all, the club knew who I was, and they know me well. My staff knows me well, and I can't say enough in both of those instances. I mean, the kids have been great, and Tram and Larry and Rudy, the whole group, everybody's been fantastic. So that made the transition easy. And in spite of coaching third and paying special attention to the outfield, I mean, I've been in the league 4 years now, and so you know the league a little bit, and that helps that process that we've talked about as far as getting ready. I mean, I know David Wright a little bit, you know this and that, and so I think that's helped make the transition easier for me as well. And you know, I've got a lot of support from family and friends and all that, and that never hurts either. So there were a lot of things going in the right direction in spite of the fact that I was kind of caught off guard by all this.
You're at the other end of the dugout now, but again, you've been in that end of the dugout before. And actually, you were at third base when you were managing in the minor leagues. Has there been anything over the last 10 days that has surprised you about being a big league manager? No,
the one thing, and it probably goes right along with the fact that when you're managing down there, you are responsible for coaching third, because the communication between myself and Yvonne is something that I haven't done in a long time. I think in winter ball, I did it in the Dominican 1 year, and 1 year in Scranton, I had one of my coaches coach third. But so that little, you know, as you're thinking of stuff when you're coaching third, you just put things into play. You don't have to get the message to Yvonne and so on and so forth. So that's been a little different, and he's done a great job. And there have been 1 or 2 mistakes that we've made, my fault communication wise. But he's got a new set of signs. I've got a new set of signs. We got Bobby D at first. So I think we got most of that worked out, and but that's probably been the main thing for me, doing it differently than I did in the minors.
In terms of influences, you've talked about a lot of names over the past. Is there one person in particular you've learned the most from, or have you just kind of picked and chosen from the managers and coaches and people you've been around?
Probably that, and I think I said, you know, when this first broke, I mean, it would be really a really bad Academy Award speech if I thanked everybody, because we'd be here forever. And I mean that sincerely. And I mean, it's not just managers that you've been around, but it's farm directors and general managers and organizations that you've been involved with. You know, whether it's learning stuff from Lou or Dusty before him, or somebody going way back. I spent a spring with Jim Leland and watched how he was going to build his situation in Pittsburgh, and there's a lot of good people in this game, and you know that as well as I do, and numerous pitching coaches I've been around. So it's been a thing where I got to do it my way, and I've got to stay within my own personality. But if you don't grab bits and pieces from all the people you've been around in 30 years, then you don't get an opportunity like this.
I think the biggest connection between you and your predecessor is that, like Lou Piniella, you're a good listener, and I think some of the smartest people I know do listen. You know, we've talked many times just about various things, and you like to ask questions. Has that always been a part of your personality?
Yeah, even if we disagree about the sabermetrics and everything else. So, and we've talked about that as far as me being a closet numbers guy. But you know what? For years, and I've heard, you know, a lot of people speak on leadership. I actually mentioned Wooden a while back, and that's probably the one thing that I really think gets lost in the shuffle when they're talking about people and leadership qualities, or what's it important that you do to be successful at this or that. And I'd like to think that I am a good listener, and I think that that's one trait that probably gets left behind when you're talking about people that are successful. And like I said, whether it's my staff here, whether it's my players, listening to your players, and sometimes we're not talking about communication. There's a whole different kind of listening sometimes. And anything you can do to help yourself is important, and listening's right up there near the top.
All right, last thing, 30 seconds or less. 1 month to go. What's the big goal for this team?
play hard and to improve technically and fundamentally, I would say. And that, I mean, you try and put wins and losses on things, you can't. I mean, we want to win every game, but I really think I want to see the kind of effort that I've seen the first 10, 12 days, and then just striving to get better. And you know how tough it is the last month of a season, whether it's individual work or whether it's team fundamentals, whatever it is. I mean, everybody's tired. The other team's tired. So to get these guys to grind through this and get better at the same time would be, to me, the biggest goal.
That's Mike Quade, the Cubs' new manager. Pretty interesting comments as we bring Bob Brenly into the mix. And, Bob, the one thing I'd like to add to this, and it's not something you're going to hear Mike Quade talk about, and that is the private conversations he has with players when it comes to effort, doing the right thing. But those conversations are going on. It's just not something he's going to talk about a lot with the media.
Well, they're not going to be made public, but certainly he's going to say what's on his mind. There's no question that Mike Quade views this as an opportunity to show what kind of leadership abilities he has, and for my money so far, he's done an outstanding job. Mike Quade may not be a household name around baseball, but within the game of baseball, he is highly respected. He has paid his dues in the minor leagues, and I, for one, am really glad to see him getting an opportunity.
And the results have been good here lately, and that cannot hurt his candidacy.
Well, not at all. I mean, it's tempered a little bit because of the opponents that we've played, but just judging on what we've seen from the Cubs players on the field, a much more inspired group.
Okay, when we come back, we'll talk about a very interesting pitching matchup coming up today. The Cubs facing a knuckleballer. Nice day here at Wrigley. Mets and Cubs coming up. Game losing streak against the Reds his last time out. Bob, it came on his birthday, too.
Happy birthday to Randy. Yeah, some of his best stuff of the year. 6 strong innings, gave up only 2 runs against the Reds. That was a 3-2 victory for the Cubs in that game.
Strong July, rough August. Let's hope he finishes up the final month in good fashion. And interesting, R.A. Dickey, a knuckleballer today.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of funny-looking pitches floating up there toward home plate. Hopefully the Cubs offensively can stay back and let the ball come to them.
generally, right-handers seem to be better against knuckleballers than lefties, and you see what he did against the left-hander there. Why is that? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't think you can explain anything about a knuckleball. There are as many theories about how to hit it as there are about how to catch it. It's just one of those pitches that is very unique, and the guys like R.A. Dickey come along so rarely, it's hard to predict what's going to happen.
Well, it's worked this year. His ERA about 2.5. Good to see Jerry Manuel back in town, former White Sox skipper, managing the Mets. Mets and Cubs from Wrigley next. Coming off a series win over the Pirates. Now the Mets come to town, and surging rookie Starlin Castro faces a new challenge in knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. It's the Mets and Cubs next. Live from the corner of Clark and Addison, we're set for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Carlos Zambrano bobblehead day. You see lots of clouds, but some sunshine today, and the wind right now howling straight out to right. The Mets and Cubs kick off Labor Day weekend. It's the first of a 3-game series. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. Similarities between these two teams, high payroll and a disappointing year for both clubs. But, Bob, since the second half started, the Cubs' offense has been pretty good. The Mets, on the other hand, really scuffling.
Now, the Mets have had some injuries to deal with to some very key people, but the numbers are not pretty if you're a New York Mets fan. They rank dead last in the National League in all those offensive categories, whereas the Cubs have really turned it on in the second half of the season with the bats.
And the Mets pitch pretty well. The Cubs have had issues at times on the pitching staff. We'll see how Randy Wells does today. And the two guys he probably has to worry about the most, former Cub Angel Pagan and David Wright, the third baseman.
Yeah, Angel Pagan getting an opportunity to play regularly this year because of the injury to Carlos Beltran. And David Wright, if you remember back in April, was really struggling at the start of the season, but has returned to his all-star form. Those are the two guys you definitely have to watch for in this lineup.
I'm guessing Starlin Castro has not faced too many knuckleballers, but you know what? It doesn't seem to matter who he faces as we look at our Land Rover high performance. The kid just keeps on doing it.
He just gets a bat on the ball. He gets a lot of line drive hits, a lot of hard ground balls, which you love to see, and he seems to be very lucky in the respect that a lot of the balls that he doesn't hit hard drop in for base hits as well.
And he's been great at Wrigley Field, among the league leaders in home batting average. So the Mets and Cubs, the series opener coming up. But first down to the field, and Wayne Messmer with our national anthem.
By performing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
At your Lexus dealer. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Member owned means our reason for being is your well-being. Experience, wellness, everywhere. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
First 10,000 fans through the gates get the exclusive limited edition Carlos Zambrano as a soccer player bobblehead doll. And you're watching the Cubs and the New York Mets on Comcast Sportsnet, presented by Allstate. All of a sudden, fall has arrived. Cool temperatures. Very comfortable in the sun, but a lot of wind today, Bob. And you noticed it has changed quite a bit throughout the morning and into the early afternoon.
Yeah, when I first got here to the ballpark today, the wind was blowing out to left field. As batting practice progressed, it was blowing straight out to center, and now it appears to be blowing from left to right. Whichever direction it goes today, it figures to help the hitter. So good day for Randy Wells to keep the ball down.
Now let's get the Mets Southwest starting lineup written out by manager Jerry Manuel. It's been a tough go, as we mentioned, for this offense, hitting .221 since the All-Star break. Pagan leads it off. Lucas Duda, rookie in left. Chris Carter is in right. David Wright's at third. Ike Davis putting together excellent rookie campaign. Joaquin Arias at second base for Luis Castillo. Josh Tolley will do the catching. Ruben Tejada in for the injured Jose Reyes at short. And R.A. Dickey will hit ninth.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively this afternoon. Soriano in left, Bird in center, Kosuke Fukudome over in right field. Ramirez and the red-hot Starlin Castro on the left side of the infield. Blake DeWitt and Xavier Nady on the right side. Giovanni Soto behind the plate today for right-hander Randy Wells. I mentioned his last time out against the Cincinnati Reds. As good as we've seen Randy in a while. Had good command not only of his sinker but also that hard slider. Mixed in enough changeups to keep the Reds honest.
Brian Gorman, the crew chief, will get the plate today. Graduated from the University of Delaware. Todd Titchener, Tony Randazzo, a Chicago native, and Paul Nart around the bases. It will be switch hitting Angel Pagan to start things for the Mets. Carlos Beltran was on the disabled list when we saw the Mets early this season. He is on their active roster, but not in the lineup today. It's been a tough go for Beltran coming back from knee surgery. They have 4 switch hitters on the bench today. Fouled back by Angel. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, to Angel's credit, he's taken full advantage of the increased playing time. He's had himself a real solid season. Batting average sitting at .294 coming into play today. He's clubbed 10 homers, which is as many as he had in the last 3 years combined. And he's a base stealing threat with 32 on the year.
And he's on base to start it as he lines one into right. The Mets got to their team hotel around 2 a.m. this morning after a night game in Atlanta last night. They won that game, avoiding the sweep, but they also lost Johan Santana to a pec muscle injury. That's a chest muscle near his shoulder. So I'm not quite sure how long Santana will be out. He went 5 innings and got the win. Here's Lucas Duda. Low for ball 1. These are not your dad's New York Mets.
I would imagine that program sales are at an all-time high today because we didn't know who most of these guys were. I think some of that is a byproduct. As you said, Len, the night game in Atlanta last night, they got in here very late, and it's not uncommon for a team to start a lot of their bench players in a day game after a tough travel night.
The New York Mets have a new left fielder, Duda. Sorry. Outside 2-0. Duda looking for his first hit. You knew that was coming, so just get it right out of the way.
At some point, we knew it was coming.
Duda got called up a couple of days ago. That's way outside, 3-0. Chris Carter is on deck. Another rookie. They have 6 rookies in their starting lineup. Well, Randy Wells, who's had some first inning problems this season, going to have to work out of a jam here.
$18 first inning runs in 27 starts. The key numbers for Randy Wells: 1 and 4. 18 first inning runs, 21 runs in the fourth inning. Other than that, he's been very effective this year, but 2 bad innings over the course of the season have really skewed his numbers.
There's Chris Carter. He's playing right, ball 1. And this Mets team looked a lot different when we saw them in April. And they took 3 out of 4 against the Cubs in that series at Citi Field. There's a strike, 1-1. One pitch. Popped into short right center, and Fukudome with a better angle, especially considering the throw was going to go toward third, so he took it from Marlon Byrd. Normally the center fielder gets it, but playing to the game condition.
Absolutely, that's the absolute right thing to do right there. Anytime the center fielder can get to the ball, he's considered the captain of the outfield, but you have to consider the angle of the throw that you're going to need to make, and that time Fukudome had the better angle. Marlon Byrd gave way.
David Wright homered last night in Atlanta, and the Mets 4-2 win. Deep drive, left field. Soriano's back on it, and he can't get it. Ball hit the wall pretty hard, and the Mets are going to get a couple on David Wright's 2-run double. Off the bat, it looked like a home run, but by the time it got to the wall, Soriano was there, and he just missed it.
A hooking drive off the bat of David Wright, hooking into the wind that's blowing from left to right, really knocked that ball down. Soriano got back to the wall, just kind of fanned on it right there at the very end. And when the ball ricocheted as far back toward the infield as it did, that gave Duda an opportunity to come around and score from first.
Mike Davis takes it low. We have talked about Soriano's improved play in left. The one thing he admitted a long time ago is his strong suit is not up against that wall, particularly in this ballpark. I think we would both agree, Bob, going to his right, to his left, and in, he's been better this season. Not necessarily back. I believe that was a no pitch.
Mike Davis was called up while the Cubs were in New York earlier this season. Boy, at that point it looked like Jerry Manuel wasn't going to make it to the All-Star break. A number of their players were on the disabled list. The Mets were floundering early in the season. They called up rookie Ike Davis to play first base in the series when the Cubs were back at Citi Field in New York, and they seemed to catch fire for a while.
He went 6 for 15 in that series against the Cubs. Good changeup from Wells to make it 2-2. Davis, the son of former Major League pitcher Ron Davis, who at one time pitched for the Cubs. That's jerked into left, base hit. Wright's going to be held at third by Chip Hale, the third base coach.
From our Coors Light RoboCam, you'll see David Wright out there at second base as Ike Davis, just with a little one-handed flip, drops that ball out into right field in front of Fukudome. And the word is around the league. If you're going to try to run on Kosuke Fukudome, it better be on a ball hit to his right or left. If he's coming straight in on the ball, he will unload a quick throw to home plate. So Chip Hale, the third base coach, threw up the stop sign immediately.
Larry Rothschild out to chat with Wells is one of the newest Mets, Joaquin Arias, who was acquired from Texas on Tuesday in exchange for right fielder Jeff Rancour. Those numbers combined between Texas and the Mets. He played 50 games for the Rangers. He's playing second base today, and he pops it up, and this one will get out of play. Thanks to Mike Quade for joining us on our pregame coverage. Pretty interesting guy. We had a lot of long chats with Mike over the years about just about everything we see on a daily basis. He is a baseball gym rat. See if they can turn two. Ramirez to DeWitt, not in time to get two, and that'll get the Mets their third run as Wright scores. Arias with an RBI, and it's 3-0.
It looked like a double play off the bat. Topspin grounder to Ramirez playing in. A little mistiming there at second base with Blake DeWitt and Aramis Ramirez not quite on the same page, and Arias runs very well, was able to leg it out for a fielder's choice RBI.
A couple of good friends matching up here, and Randy Wells and Josh Tolley, who has caught some bullpens in the winter for Randy from the same area, not too far from St. Louis. Randy Wells from Belleville. Josh Tolley is from Breeze, Illinois. Low and outside, 1-1.
Josh Tolley plays a little Leonard Skinner when he comes to the plate at Citi Field. Call me the Breeze.
I like it.
I guess you could go with Summer Breeze, Seals and Cross, but that doesn't really get the blood flowing quite the same way.
No, it doesn't. And Metallica to cover that. Well, the Mets got 4 runs last night in Atlanta. That's not a number they've reached often. Since the All-Star break, they've scored 3 or fewer runs in 61% of their games. Well, they already have 3 in the first inning. Two and two on Tolley. Ruben Tejada, the shortstop, is on deck. There goes the runner on the 2-2 pitch. Tolley strikes out, and that'll do it. So the Mets get 3 off Wells, and the Cubs are coming up. against the Pirates. Kosuke leads it off. Castro, Bird, Ramirez in the middle. Nades at first, the former Met. Giovanni Soto back in there. He missed those 3 games against the Pirates with a knee problem. Soriano in left, Blake DeWitt at second, and Randy Wells, the pitcher, bats 9th.
Take a look at the Mets defensively. Lucas Duda in left field, Angel Pagan in center, Chris Carter over in right field, David Wright at third base, Ruben Tejada at shortstop, Joaquin Arias at second base, Ike Davis over at first, Josh Tolley doing the catching for the right-handed knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. You see his numbers on the season. And because of the lack of stress and strain that the knuckleball puts on your arm, Dickey most of the time works deep into the ballgame.
Assuming he's not knocked out really early today, he'll be back on the leaderboard in the NL in earned run average right now at 2.57. Bob, we know what a fastball looks like. Everything else from Dickey will be a knuckleball today.
In the past, he used to throw a slider and a curveball, but so far in the 2010 season, all he has thrown is knuckleballs right around 84% of the time, and fastballs the other 16% of the time. No breaking balls this season.
There's the knuckler. And you notice the catcher, Tolley, his glove is bigger than a normal catcher's mitt.
It's kind of a hybrid between a catcher's mitt and a first baseman's glove. Obviously, the size much larger than a regular catcher's mitt, much more flexible than a regular catcher's mitt, and even with the big glove, he's going to have trouble corralling some of these knuckleballs today.
Swing and a miss, 72. Yet Fukudome was late because he waited back. What Dickey does is he envisions a small square basically at the top of the catcher's mask. He just aims for that spot, and nobody in the ballpark, including the guy actually letting go of that ball, has any idea where it's going to end up.
Because of the lack of rotation on the pitch, those seams, depending on how the air hits the seams, will cause it to go in any direction. I mean, occasionally it looks like the ball actually breaks upward as it gets into the hitting zone. Just depends on how the wind currents hit the baseball. Most of the time it's going to go down.
Pagan hauls it in. Castro retired.
When you think about every other pitch that a traditional pitcher throws, it depends on the rotation on the ball to get movement. Whether it's a sinker, you try to get a little sideward tilt on the fastball. Whether it's a curveball where you try to get the over-the-top spin. With a knuckleball, you try to get zero spin and let the ball move wherever it wants to go.
Oh, happy birthday to our good friend Mike the Bender. 29 again.
And again.
Marlon Bird. Chopper to short. Ruben Tejada throws across in a quick 9-pitch first inning for Dickey. And remember, he went to a full count on the leadoff man. 3-0 Mets. throughout the game. There's no purchase necessary. For more info, visit Cubs.com. Also tomorrow, in support of the ongoing commitment from MLB, it's clubs and the players to increase opportunities for youth participation in baseball and softball. The Cubs are teaming up with the Baseball Tomorrow Fund to host an equipment drive. We'll try to collect used baseball equipment before the game tomorrow. So come on out.
And we talked about that last week. You know you've got stuff out there in the garage that you're never going to use again. I know my son Michael coming up through Little League and the various leagues that you go through ultimately. You have to change bats every year. You get a little bigger, a little stronger. You get a bigger aluminum bat. And the other one just sits in the garage. Well, bring it on out here. Somebody can get some good out of it.
Ruben Tejada bounces out to his counterpart, Starlin Castro. So proceeds will benefit Streeter Youth Baseball, and that's tomorrow before the game. To figure out, okay, specially marked tables on Clark Street between Addison and Waveland starting at 10 a.m. So if you have the used equipment, that's where you should go. R.A. Dickey takes ball one low. Also, the Cubs' wives will host their 8th annual food drive tomorrow. It'll be at Gate D. Sheffield and Addison starting at 10 a.m. Fans making a donation of 10 non-perishable food items or $20 will get a 5x7 autographed photo of a Cubs player. And it's limited to 2 photos per person while they last. R.A. Dickey had been considered something that not a lot of players want to be known as. That's journeyman. He's trying to get rid of that tag this season. And he's done a very nice job in that regard. He signed a minor league contract 2 days before Christmas. He got brought up from AAA in mid-May and put together a fantastic career year as he strikes out.
We mentioned it earlier, Len. Knuckleball pitchers are a rare breed, to say the least. There have been very few that have had any measure of success at the major league level. But if you have a knuckleball pitcher in your rotation, I think it makes the pitchers after him even better. I mean, a lot of veteran hitters don't like to face a knuckleball pitcher, not only because of that day's game, but the effect it has in the following game. You get used to seeing a 70-mile-an-hour pitch floating up there to home plate, darting in all kinds of erratic directions, and then go back out there the next day and face a guy throwing 95 with command and control. And a lot of times the knuckleball pitcher can throw a player into a week-long slump.
(2-0) on Pagan, who started the game with a single and would later score on the David Wright 2-run double. And another hit. He's 2 for 2. Well, that guy you were talking about is going to be 20-year-old Henry Mejia, who in relief earlier this season was averaging 95 miles an hour on his fastball. At the start for the Mets.
I'm not sure if that was by design by the Mets, the way they set up their rotation, or just the way the starts have fallen here at the end of the season. But that's a good point of how you put your starting rotation together. How do the pitchers contrast against each other's styles? You don't like to get 2 guys back-to-back in the rotation that are very similar in their stuff and their velocity. So once again, inserting that knuckleballer into the middle of your starting rotation, in my estimation, tends to make the guys around him better.
Pitch to Duda. A roller for DeWitt. Nice backhand and the flip from his glove to Starlin Castro to get the speedy Pagan at second base. Nicely done to end the inning. Midway in the second, 3-0 Mets.
discuss the day's hottest sports topics. Don't miss Chicago Tribune Live, presented by Harris Bank, tonight at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
The Mets fan doesn't look too happy. His team leading 3-0. Well, Ramos Ramirez will start the Cubs second against R.A. Dickey. That knuckler broke inside. Talking about righties versus lefties. When you face a knuckleballer, the Cubs don't have any switch hitters in their lineup today. If they did, those guys would probably bat right-handed. Luis Castillo normally hits right-handed against a knuckleballer. On the Mets team, he is not in their lineup today. Of course, is not facing his own pitcher. Ramirez grounds out to David Wright.
Maybe in spring training next year, when it's inter-squad games. I think we'll see it today.
Well, the knuckleball, the screwball, two pitches that have become pretty rare in baseball, but something different. Dickey was mentored by Charlie Huff while in the Texas organization. That's a strike on Xavier Mady. I would say most knuckleballers today were mentored by one of the Necros, Charlie Huff, or as we move along, Tim Wakefield. Maybe a little Tom Candiotti.
Well, there's a pretty small pool of experience to lean on if you're a young knuckleball pitcher, but I had the fortune or misfortune, however you look at it, facing both the Necro brothers during the course of my career. And as I said before, veteran hitters didn't like to face the knuckleballers because it would throw them into a slump, so I always got the Necro brothers.
Swing and a miss. Nady fans. 5 up, 5 down for Dickey. Sunday is Chicago Blackhawks Day here at Wrigley Field. The 2010 Stanley Cup champions are looking forward to the 2010-2011 season and will be giving away pocket schedules and training camp festival brochures before the game and autographed items in between innings. Don't miss the action. The Cubs and the Mets at 1:20. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Norris winner Duncan Keith will conduct the stretch. Soto basically 4 days off because of a minor knee problem. Did not participate in the Pirates series. Cubs officially called up Wellington Castillo for the second time this season, so they have 2 backup catchers. Fly ball out to Pagan, who makes the grab, and Dickey has cruised through the first 2 in his Wrigley Field debut. 3-0 New York. The Hilton Chicago, January 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2011. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. Weekend passes will go on sale in early November. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Chris Carter pops up on the first pitch. It's Blake DeWitt. One away. A lot of news at the minor league level for the Cubs. I want to send out congratulations to Iowa Cubs manager Ryne Sandberg, the Pacific Coast League Manager of the Year. That was announced about 2 hours before game time today. The I-Cubs are in a battle for a playoff spot here over the final weekend against Memphis. Tennessee Smokies manager Bill Dancy has been named the AA Southern League Manager of the Year. Second time he's won a Manager of the Year award. Smokies with 83 wins. And among the Cubs minor league all-stars, Michael Brenly, a Florida State League all-star. Congratulations, Pops.
Thank you very much.
That's great.
Yeah, very excited about that.
Daytona basically in a must-win spot. They're 2 back with 3 to play. Unfortunately, Peoria was eliminated from wild card contention in the Midwest League yesterday. It's been a really good year in the Cubs farm system. Swing and a miss. David Wright strikes out for the 140th time this season.
All right, as we mentioned earlier in the season, when the Cubs saw the Mets back in April, was really struggling, striking out about 3 out of every 4 at bats. Still strikes out at an alarming rate for as good a hitter as he is.
Davis 1 for 1. Ball 1 outside. Also, some staff members from the minor league system are with the club for the next few weeks. Mark Riggins, the pitching coordinator. Dave Keller, the hitting coordinator. Good to see Franklin Font, the Cubs infield coordinator, and Chuck Boffman, the rehab coordinator. Chuck's been with the team just about every September for quite a while. Good to see Chuck Boffman as well. Two and one. Very rare on a Friday to have more than one matinee. Cubs always play their home games on Fridays at 1:20, but the Yankees hosting the Blue Jays today, and it's 5-3 New York in the 6th. Kind of a do-or-die series starting tonight in St. Louis for the Cardinals as they play the first-place Reds. 8 games out in the Central. 2-out walk to Davis.
And then very quickly, some of the other minor league all-stars this season. Darwin Barney, who's here with the big club now, and Brad Snyder, both named to the Pacific Coast League all-star team. Robinson Chirinos, a catcher. Tony Campana and Brandon Guy are a couple of outfielders named to the Southern League postseason all-star team. Besides that, Brenly kid, Rebel Ridling, and DJ LeMahieu in the Florida State League named to the all-star team. And also in the Boise Hawks, Alvaro Ramirez and Pierre LePage named to the Northwest League all-star team. LePage was the only unanimous selection on the entire all-star team, so congratulations to all those youngsters.
And Brandon Geyer hitting .335, leads all active Southern League players in hitting. Heard a lot of good things about him. Arias fouls it off.
Tony Campana, 44 stolen bases, 150 hits, leading the team, was also named the best hustler in the league.
He doesn't play pool, it's just how hard he plays on the field.
I think he shoots a little pool too, but yeah, you're right. For the way he plays on the field.
Ramirez is going to charge. And he barely gets Arias to end the inning. 2-out walk, no runs. We'll go to the home third. Cubs still looking for their first base runner, trailing 3-0.
Call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
We welcome those viewers watching on ESPN UK. Here today, the Cubs hosting the Mets. You're going to see that a few times. Ball popping out of the middle of the catcher, who's just kind of guessing at where it's going to land.
Fastball at 84 with a little tailing movement. That's his secondary pitch.
Tap right back to the mound. I think it would be relatively easy to call a game for a knuckleballer. You just put down the sign for knuckleball. If he says no, it's a fastball. That's it.
Yeah, and it is tough for a catcher, obviously, catching a knuckleball pitcher. You don't try to frame borderline pitches with a knuckleball pitcher. You just try to get the glove in front of the ball and keep it from going to the backstop. If you happen to catch it, that's a good deal. But when you're catching a traditional pitcher and there's a borderline pitch, you always try to get outside the ball and make sure you're moving back toward the zone. When you're catching a knuckleballer, you just try to get leather on it.
Comes a 1-0 to DeWitt. Boy, bottom fell out of that. Now, Bob, because a pitch is so slow, this knuckleball, watch how Tolley catches it. Yeah, really fighting it.
Yeah.
First a 1-1 outside. With a slower pitch, your tendency behind the plate is to come out and grab it, but you got to kind of let it get all the way in there, right? With all that movement, you don't want to cause catcher's interference either.
That's the theory I've heard most often. I've never had the opportunity to catch a knuckleball pitcher, but guys who have done it throughout their career say you try to wait until the last instant before you commit to going after the pitch.
It was a fastball, and DeWitt able to turn on it. I guess if you're going to guess fastball, it would be in that spot. Ahead 3-1 on the count. DeWitt probably went, oh, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Down around the knees, right where he likes it. Hooked it through that hole in the right side. I'm not surprised he gave in and threw a fastball in that situation with the pitcher in the on-deck circle. But Blake DeWitt is glad he did.
There's the bunt by Wells, and Davis will underhand for the second baseman Arias for the out. That's number 9 in terms of sack bunts for Randy Wells.
It really gets interesting catching a knuckleball pitcher when you get a runner at third base in a close ball game. I mean, it's tough to block balls and keep them in front when you know what's coming and what the movement on the pitch is going to be. But when you have no idea and your pitcher has no idea and you're supposed to keep the ball from going to the backstop, that's when catchers really start to break a sweat back there.
An eye on Tolley with a runner at second, and the signs for the first time around, he just moved his fingers very quickly. Really didn't give many signs at all. Again, for the most part, Dickey knows what he's going to throw as Fukudome pops out to Arias in shallow right. Cubs get their first hit, but they strand DeWitt in scoring position. 3-0 Mets after 3. Curing the infield dirt in between innings. Nice and smooth as Josh Tolley takes ball 1. We're in the 4th. The Mets got 3 in the first inning. Nothing since. Wells with a 1-0. That's smack foul back out of play. In the middle of a 10-day, 9-game homestand, the Houston Astros come in Monday before the Cubs will hit the road next weekend in Milwaukee.
Much improved Houston Astros team. They've won their last 3 in a row, 8 of their last 10. in a tie for third place in the Central Division with the Milwaukee Brewers going into play today.
Sweeps over the Phillies and the Cardinals recently. Really, Bob, it all started after two franchise icons were traded. Lance Berkman and arguably the best pitcher in franchise history, Roy Oswalt. Their starting pitching has been really good lately. Only shortening up with 2 strikes. And it's now full 3-2. Look at the batting stance, choking up on the bat, crowding the plate, and he takes ball 4. This will be a fun one. AT&T trivia time. Believe it or not, the Mets have never had a no-hitter, but there are 6 former Mets who have tossed at least 1 no-hitter after leaving New York. I think we can name all 6. Ruben Tejada, not in the bunting spot with a pitcher on deck. Well, Nolan Ryan would be the first one.
Frank Viola throw a no-hitter?
We will find out.
We'll find out, I guess.
It's a good guess, though. Well, they've had a lot of one-hitters in their career. How about Tom Seaver? David Cone. David Cone pitched a perfect game for the Yankees.
That's good.
Ground ball, base hit. That'll put the pitcher in a bunting spot. 2 on, nobody out. This is where that leadoff walk comes back to bite Randy Wells.
Well, never a good idea to walk the leadoff hitter in an inning, but especially when you're down at the bottom of the order. Those are guys that you'd like to think that if you force them to put the ball in play, your defense can get some outs behind you, and it just sets up the opportunity here as Chip Hale talks it over with R.A. Dickey for your pitcher to go up there, put down a sacrifice bunt, move 2 guys into scoring position in this situation.
High chopper on the bunt. Nady throws to third, and it's in time to get Tolley.
A nice aggressive defensive play by Xavier Nady, charging in from his first base position.
Still first and second, 1 out. Pagan 2 for 2. And he flies to left. Soriano coming in. It's up to Lucas Duda. USC product, 7th rounder back in 07 by the Mets. Wednesday made his major league debut in Atlanta, 0 for 2 with a walk before leaving with leg cramps in the late innings. He's got some power. 17 home runs at AAA in only 70 games. Ground ball to Ramirez. That'll take him right to the bag as they force Tejada to end the inning. They got the first 2 on, but then Wells quickly got out of it. David Cohn with a perfect game for the Yankees. It's a strike from Dickey to Castro. Came into the game third in the league in batting average. .317, also third in the league with a .355 home average. We'll send out happy 17th birthday wishes to big Cub fan Casey Toomey. And that's blooped and almost caught. Good effort by Arias, but it ends up a base hit for Castro. That's a leadoff single on an 0-2 pitch.
The guy is just a machine. When he hits it hard, he gets base hits. When he hits it soft, he gets base hits. Very defensive swing on the 2-strike count. Just pokes it out there past Arias for a base hit. Also, happy 50th birthday wishes. This actually is until tomorrow, but we're going to say happy birthday today to Kim Rooley, big-time Cubs fan.
Marlin getting a couple of days off. Did not play Wednesday. Appeared to be a leg injury, but he didn't really want to talk about it. He had Wednesday off, yesterday the off day, and he's back in there today. Marlin very similar to Derek Lee in that regard. Injuries are never an excuse. You go out and you play. One and two on Bird. Cool, windy, but sunny day here at the ballpark. That one lofted out into shallow right center. The Cubs have not hit a ball hard in this inning, and they have two on with nobody out.
Well, offensively, you're not quite as picky against a knuckleball pitcher as you would be against a more traditional pitcher. You'll take your hits however you can get them. That knuckleball moving abruptly away from Marlon Byrd. He cued it right off the end of the bat. Starlin Castro peeking over his right shoulder there. Realized he didn't have a chance to advance all the way to third. Cubs have it cooking here with nobody out.
For Ramirez. He was 0 for 17 against the Mets this season. Going to be 0 for 18 as Pagan will make the play. Here's Nady, who struck out his first time.
Another amazing thing about the knuckleball and R.A. Dickey, and 133 in the third innings coming into play today. He'd only walked 33 batters. For a pitch that is so erratic, I think the main reason for that is hitters aren't patient enough.
Nady with a base hit. Castro coming toward the plate. The throw's going to be cut off. It's 3-1. Nady aggressive in that spot. Comes with 3 singles in the inning, and they're on the board.
Anytime you see that knuckleball up above the belt, that's one you want to swing at. What an absolutely horrible throw back into the infield. That ball bounced out near the second base position, got to the cutoff man on 2 hops, allowing Starlin Castro to round third and put the Cubs on the board. Mentioned earlier, there's as many theories about how to hit a knuckleball as there are about how to catch one. But generally, if you see it up, that's a pitch you want to hack at. If you see the knuckleball down below the belt, it's probably going to end up either at the bottom of the strike zone or in the dirt. So not unusual to see guys hacking at high knuckleballs. See it high, let it fly. See it low, let it go.
Dave Joust in the Chicago area, son of longtime sports writer Bill Joust. Carter coming over and making the grab. Bird went back to second, tagged, and is now at third with 2 outs.
And not to continue to belabor the point, but that becomes significant when you have a knuckleball pitcher on the mound. Very erratic pitch, tough to throw, tough to catch. Anytime you can tag up and get yourself to third base, regardless of how many outs in the inning, it enhances your chances of possibly scoring a run on a pass ball wild pitch.
Bob Uecker has a great line about when he caught knuckleballers, quote, I met a lot of important people because they all sit behind home plate. And Jim Bouton once describing what it's like to throw one as Soriano, towering fly deep to left. Gone! That's a 3-run homer, and the Cubs lead 4-3. His 22nd of the season.
Pitch right in the middle of the plate, just above the knees for Soriano, and that wind is really whipping from left to right now, but didn't affect that majestic drive in the least.
A go-ahead 3-run blast. 4 runs in this inning. DeWitt pops it up on the right side, and it'll be caught by Arias. Soriano playing a little big fly as he found the bleachers and left. Look at a standing O as he heads back to his defense. Could win. 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway. Cubs leading 4-3 as we get into the 5th. Chris Carter taking ball 1. Andy Wells needs a shutdown inning after his team scored 4 times. That's got Carter from the Boston organization last October, originally drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks out of Stanford in 2004. You think they're all together? I guess they are.
All together.
Carter was a player to be named in a Billy Wagner deal. And Wagner went to the Red Sox last August. He's been traded 3 times already in his career. After a while, you'd probably start saying, is it something I said?
There's 2 different ways to look at it. You've been traded 3 times. There's been at least 2 organizations that felt they didn't have a spot for you, or there have been 2 teams that really wanted you.
Yep. Two pitch, just missed, ball 4, and that dreaded leadoff walk for the 2nd straight inning.
Hey fans, text banner to B-Hawks. That's 242957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win 2 tickets to the Blackhawks 2010 home opener on October 9th. That's banner to 242957 for your chance to catch this historic moment as the team raises the Stanley Cup banner to the rafters.
David Wright with a 2-run double in the 1st inning. He struck out in the 3rd. Couple of pitching notes. Tom Gorzolani has a small incomplete hairline fracture under the fingernail of his left pinky. That doesn't seem to be the biggest issue. It's the swelling in his left hand. Remember, he took that line drive off the hand, off the bat of Jose Tabata the other day. So Gorzolani will miss his next start. Casey Coleman is available in the bullpen today. And his next start was supposed to be tomorrow, but he'll be moved back to either Monday or Tuesday against Houston. Carlos Silva likely back in the rotation one of those 2 days. And coming up tomorrow, Carlos Zambrano on normal rest, Ryan Dempster on Sunday, and then it looks like Silva and Coleman to start the Astros series. Silva will be coming off the disabled list. And hopefully Gorzolani only has to miss that 1 start. Consensus was from the dugout they thought it hit him in the head, so they were actually pretty happy that it only got him in the hand. Could have been a lot worse. Wright bounces, diving stop by Ramirez. He has 1 play, that's first, but David Wright, pretty good wheels, and he beat it out. You think of Wright as a slugging 3rd baseman, and he is, but he also has 18 stolen bases, so he's not your typical 3rd baseman in that regard.
I'm not sure if we have a shot of it or not, but if you also watch the very tail end of this play, David Wright hits the very front edge of first base with his toe. Get there as quickly as possible. He does have great running speed, busting it out of that right-handed batter's box, and came right down on the very front edge of the bag with his toe. That's as quick as you can get to that bag at first.
This is the 3rd time in the first 5 innings the Mets have had 2 on with nobody out. They got 3 runs in the 1st inning. Wells was able to get out of it in the 4th. It certainly didn't hurt. But the inning started at the bottom of the order. And it's 1-0 on Ike Davis, who's reached twice already. 2 balls, no strikes as the wind continues to howl out. Right now, straight out to center and maybe a little bit toward right center. But it is gusting. Keep the ball down today. The ivy is moving like that, you know it's pretty windy.
Yeah.
Up in the air to left, Soriano backpedaling. Runners will hold, 1 away.
With this patchwork lineup that the Mets are running out there today, and we talked about it at the top of the show. Angel Pagan, David Wright, 2 guys you definitely have to watch out for. Ike Davis, another guy who has home run power, but other than that, Duda had some home runs in the minor leagues, but a bunch of contact hitters, the guys that are not known for their power. Just avoid those 3 guys that can leave the ballpark.
Arias with 1 out, 2 on. Cubs in double play depth around the infield. Ball 1 and slider. The Mets were in pretty good shape going into the All-Star break. They were 48-40. Second place in the East, 4 back of Atlanta, just 1 out in the wild card, but they've gone 18-28 since. That's foul. How about this, Bob? Tuesday ended a stretch for the Mets of 27 games during which they were either 500 or 1 game on either side of it. 1 over or 1 under. The 3rd longest such streak ever. They were avoiding all kinds of streaks, winning streaks and losing streaks. Right now they're 2 under.
Well, as a team, that's when you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. You're not making up any ground. You're not losing any ground. If you've built yourself up a big lead in your division and go through a stretch like that, then you say, oh, that's fine. It's another day off the calendar. We're right where we were yesterday. We'll take it.
Castro will get 1 at second base. That's it. So they'll be at the corners with 2 gone.
Our Coors Light RoboCam. Ball leading Castro a little bit toward the hole. Only the 1 play to get the force at second base. 2 outs here. Randy Wells with an opportunity to avoid damage after a leadoff walk.
Swing and a miss by Tolley. Remember his last at bat. By the end of the at bat, with 2 strikes on him, he was really choking up. Something you just don't see very often anymore.
He chokes up a little bit to start the at bat, just gets up off the knob of the bat. The deeper he gets in the count, the higher up that handle he goes.
Outside. Drives that ball onto the left center. It's going to hold up for Bird. So back-to-back innings, Randy Wells working out of a major jam as the Cubs maintain their 4-3 lead. Had to battle today, had their rough first inning, and has worked around some issues since.
Well, he's pitched himself into and out of some trouble since that first inning, and the big home run by Soriano giving the Cubs the lead. And we know that the Cubs' record has been much better when they hit the ball out of the ballpark, so hopefully a good sign.
Well, knocked down by the shortstop Tejada as he gets Randy Wells. He hit that ball very hard.
Hit it hard, unfortunately hit it right at the Mets shortstop. He just chested up, blocked it, and threw on in plenty of time. The ball kind of climbed up his wrist, ultimately hit him in the chest and dropped right down in front. Hard hit ball by Randy Wells.
Dome 0 for 2 as he takes a strike, hitting in the leadoff spot. Since August 3rd, hitting .406 with a .506 on base average, leading the majors.
Going to need another bucket of balls. This does not reflect on Josh Tolley at all. He's doing everything he can back there behind the plate to catch these knuckleballs, but it just isn't easy. I mean, this will give you nightmares the night before an R.A. Dickey start, knowing you're going to be back there battling that knuckler.
It was up. Fukudome pounded it on the ground. Back to the pitcher. 2 away. Watch Comcast Sportsnet Cubs game replays on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. Castro 1 for 2 with a run. Big leadoff single. Start the Cubs 4-run fourth. Robert Allen Dickey from Nashville, Tennessee. Base hit center field. Castro keeps on hitting.
Well, I'll tell you, for a 20-year-old, Len, he's got such a great approach at the plate. Not only against the knuckleballer today, but against everybody he faces. He thinks gap to gap. Hit the ball from right center to left center. A lot of his base hits have been just like the one we saw right there. Little humpback line drives into center field or over the head of the second baseman. Really stays on the ball a long time.
That was called a strike. Tolley didn't even catch it.
And at the end of the day, Josh Tolley's hand is going to be bruised, because rarely do you square up that knuckleball in the pocket of the glove. We've seen a number of them hit him down near the heel of the glove, up near the fingertips, all over that big catcher's mitt. Said earlier, I never had the fortune or misfortune of catching a knuckleball pitcher. I'd have tried 2 mitts, one on each hand.
I don't think they would allow that. It's caught by Carter to end the inning. Off to the 6th. Nice day to kick off this Labor Day weekend. Cubs 4, Mets 3. Sports Night. Every night at 6:30, 10, 10:30, and midnight. Breaking news, highlights, and exclusive interviews with the athletes you care about. Tune into Sports Night every night at 6:30, 10, 10:30, and midnight, right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Cubs trying to improve to 3-1 in this long homestand. And even up this all-time series going back to 1962. The Cubs are 1 game under 500 against the Mets franchise. This is one of the things I don't like about the unbalanced schedule. You take what for a long time had been a great NL East rivalry. You've turned it into a 6 or 7 game season series. We haven't seen the Mets since April. Chicago and New York. Two cities match up. It's always fun. Two and two on Ruben Tejada. Dickey is on deck. Swing and a miss, strike three.
That breaks the string of back-to-back leadoff walks to start the last two innings. Much nicer to start her with a strikeout for a quick first out.
Almost cool enough. R.A. Dickey could have worn a Dickey today. Fake turtleneck. Got a few of those in your closet, don't you?
No, I wore mine so often I wore them out.
Caught by Ramirez. Dickey bidding for a base hit.
Tomahawked a high fastball. Ramirez playing back. Just enough ups to make the catch right there. She wishes she had a Dickey to put on right now to keep that wind from blowing down her neck.
They should have a competition to see who could wear one the longest. You could call it a Dickey-thon.
Oh my.
Oh. Got to bring it all back to baseball.
You know, we probably should explain that Dickey Thon was a fine young player for the Houston Astros back in the day.
Career really derailed. Got hit in the face, right, by a pitch.
It was Mike Torres.
Torres, yeah. That was a bad one. Two and one to Pagan. That one pulled to right, out of play. Happy 60th birthday wishes to Marcy Sirachi. Cheering on the Cubs today as Randy Wells has hit the 100 pitch mark. Bounced up the middle. Angel Pagan. 3 for 4. We were fans of Angel when he was here. There's no question he had a lot of raw talent. I think there were some questions about the instincts at times, but Bob, talking to the Mets broadcasters, they say he has been a much improved player in that regard this season, making good decisions on the baseball field.
He had a lot of injury problems as well in his time here with the Cubs, but there was no doubting the ability. It was there. It was just a matter of bringing it to the ballpark on a daily basis, and he's done that this year for the Mets.
Well, Angel had quite a game earlier this season at Washington on May 19th. An inside the park home run. We know about his blazing speed. He's cruising around the bases for a home run, and then later would start a triple play.
It's quite a day.
First player since Ted Kaczynski Well, the Phillies in 1955 to accomplish both in the same game. And that's lost, by the way, 5-3. It's a strike on Duda. Here's a triple play. Same night in Washington. And look who was on the mound. R.A. Dickey. Shoestring catch.
It still turned into a triple play.
Right field corner and a lot of trouble. Pagan coming around. Relay throw is not going to be made as DeWitt couldn't handle it. He would not have had a play on Pagan either way. And it's a game-tying RBI double for Lucas Duda. That is his first major league hit as the Mets are asking for the ball. And his first RBI.
Mike Quade out to the mound to have a meeting with Randy Wells. Could have gone to the left-hander James Russell to face Duda. Elected to stay with his starter, and Randy Wells made a mistake on that inside part of the pitch. Duda hit that ball really hard down into the right field corner, and I agree, no chance, even if DeWitt fields that throw cleanly.
So the best scenario for Wells would be a no decision and a Cubs win, as James Russell will come in and try to strand that go-ahead run at second base. The Lex surgery in January. Here's a pitch. Bouncer foul.
You know, Carlos Beltran can occasionally play some very uninspired baseball during the regular season, but when the lights shine the brightest, he has been a serious money hitter. In 2 division series, a .387 lifetime batting average with 4 homers. In the league championship series, 2 different times, .353 with 7 homers. In all-star games, a .417 hitter, and in the World Baseball Classic, a .350 hitter.
He missed the entire first half. And the 0-2 pitch bounces way in front of home plate. Right knee cost him a month and a half, or actually 2.5 months last year. A 1-2 on the way. That one also in the dirt. Giovanni Soto and Carlos Beltran are from Puerto Rico. They both have been the Rookie of the Year. For Soto in 08 in the NL, and for Beltran in 1999 in the American League with Kansas City. Oh, foul. Look out, Chip Hale. Three and two. Fly ball to left. Soriano's back on it now, camping underneath. To end the inning, Lucas Duda with his first major league hit, a game-tying RBI double, and it's 4-4 midway in the sixth. Tie. Ramirez taps it foul on a check swing. Somewhere there is Angel Pagan. You can see his right arm. He's in right, and Beltran now playing center. Well, you might be able to make the claim at this point that Pagan, with his speed, is a better center fielder than Beltran, really, with those knee issues. Beltran is a three-time Gold Glover, 2-1 to Aramis. Ricky from the far first base side of the rubber was tantalizing, but Ramirez took it low and outside. No walks to this point for Dickey. And Acosta up in the Met bullpen. There's ball four. You see the Cubs offense turn the tables as they pick up a leadoff walk.
Watch the Cubs take on the Astros next Wednesday at Wrigley Field. Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs toiletry bag, compliments of Vegas. Baby.
Xavier Nady with a base hit in the right, his second hit of the day. 2 on, nobody out. Cubs trying to get the lead right back. We're going to see the pitching coach, Dan Worthen, come out. You look at that opposite field single. Give a shout out to Uncle Eugene, a lifelong Cub fan, 97 years old. His nieces Diane and Roseanne are here as he watches from Pacific Beach, Washington.
Sounds like a place we need to visit. Pacific Beach.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
A 4-4 tie, but the Cubs have 2 on. And Soto takes it inside. That's thinking Soto might bunt. And Davis, the first baseman, in on the grass. Wright was in a little bit as well. Wright backing up. Inside, 2-0. Here's the pitch. It's a strike.
Maybe for the first time in the ballgame, back-to-back fastballs there, 2-0. Gio took it for a called strike and then came right back with another fastball, 2-1, resulting in a foul ball to the left side. Probably go right back to the knuckler again.
And he gets him. Only his 3rd strikeout.
Did go to the knuckleball. I think was bottomed out. Looked like a middle of the thigh strike as it got about 3/4 of the way to home plate, and then the bottom fell out.
I could read the commissioner's signature on that replay as it was headed toward the plate. Here's Soriano, hit a 3-run homer his last time. Big swing.
Soriano got a knuckleball on the inside part of the plate, down a little bit, right where he likes it. No doubt about that drive.
He would kind of go against the grain in terms of the general knuckleball philosophy. It's low, you let it go, but that's where Soriano likes it. 0-2. Beltran moving over into left center. With 2 outs. It's up to Blake DeWitt. For ball 1. Deep drive to right. Pagan going back on it. The wind's going to carry it out. A 3-run homer. That's where you want to hit him today. It's 7-4. That looked like a fairly routine fly ball off the bat, but in this wind, a long home run.
That wind galing out to right field the way it is, even a routine fly ball to right field today has a chance to get out of here. This one gets way back into the bleachers in right. Blake DeWitt with his second hit of the ball game. This one driving home 3.
Cubs with 2 3-run homers in this game, and James Russell's going to take the at-bat. Russell, the beneficiary of that home run, he has a chance now for the win. And if he gets it, it would be the first of his career. Thomas Diamond got his first major league win on Wednesday. Bounced to the third baseman right, who slings it across. That's the inning, but Blake DeWitt gives the Cubs another lead. This time a 3-run advantage with a 3-run homer. It's 7-4. Andrew Kashner will pitch the 7th. He and the rest of the bullpen will try to save it for James Russell, who could get his first major league win. Here's David Wright. 2 hits and 3 tries. He's knocked in 2, 89 RBIs on the season, and hits it foul. 93 XRT morning man Lynn Bramer, our good friend, will lead the fans in the singing of the 7th inning stretch coming up. Outside on a fastball at 97, 2-1. Kashner, the Cubs' first-round pick out of Texas Christian in 2008, the 19th pick in that draft. Cashner was drafted 4 different times. Twice by the Cubs. Up and in. 3-2. That's okay.
The general consensus on David Wright is he's a better hitter with pitches middle of the plate away than he is middle of the plate in.
That's thumped, and it's going to get out in a big-time hurry. A line shot homer into the bleachers in left center for his 3rd RBI today, and it's 7-5. Boy, that was cranked.
Those predictable counts, and at this stage of his career, 3-2 is a predictable count for Andrew Cashner. He's going to go to that mid to upper 90s fastball. About 90% of the time he's going to rely on that heater when he's behind in the count or in a full count situation. That time David Wright was all over.
Ike Davis takes ball 1. So Mets' first home run today. They have not hit more than 1 in any of their last 31 games going in. They're still searching for that ball. This is their longest stretch without a multiple home run performance since 1992. I guess if the trend holds up, that's it for the Mets home runs today.
Let's hope.
Yeah. And ball 4, just as Cashner was dealing, Fan was throwing the ball back onto the field. Davis walks, and the tying run's going to come up. And here comes Larry Rothschild. Nobody up right now in the bullpen.
Looking for a great venue for your next party? The Captain Morgan Club at Wrigley Field has over 8,000 square feet of indoor and outdoor space and unmatched access to Wrigley Field. It's Wrigleyville's premier party location. To book your party, call 773-404-4750.
Pause in the action as Arias will bat with 1 on, nobody out. David Wright, a leadoff homer. From Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Called strike 3. And him on a slider.
Back-to-back sliders, one for a swinging strike, this one for a called strike.
Strike to Tolley. Punched foul into the upper deck, 0-2. Shortening up and rolling it foul the other way. Final Yankee Stadium. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays 7-3 for their 7th straight win. They have a 2-game lead over Tampa Bay. The check down at third, and Paul Nart said Tolley held up. High chopper, and Cashner will tag Tolley. And Davis now second base, 2 outs. Going to see a pinch hitter for Ruben Tejada. It's going to be Mike Hessman.
Tolley chopped that ball right off of home plate. When you see that kind of trampoline effect on a ground ball right in front of the plate, it usually means it hit the plate itself. If the ball hits the dirt, it normally doesn't bounce that high in the air.
Hessman for Tejada. Two for 13 rather as a pinch hitter this season. A pop up behind the plate. Soto didn't see it at first, and it did land out of play by about 2 rows. Inside, 1-1. 2 big homers for the Cubs today. Both go-ahead shots. Soriano 3-run homer in the 4th. Blake DeWitt went deep in the 6th. A 3-run homer. Sharply hit ground ball. It's Ramirez. Cubs a stretch with Lindbramer.
For taking me out to the ball game is morning DJ at WXRT, Lynn Bramer.
All right, everybody, let me hear ya. Good and loud. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root, root, root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's ball game. Let's
into place short. And Manny Acosta will do the pitching. R.A. Dickey gave up 7 runs in his 6 innings of work. 29th appearance for Acosta. As we get into the bottom of the 7th, Lynn Bramer from XRT.
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen.
With a fantastic rendition of Take Me Out to the Ballgame. We know you've got good pipes because you're on the air for several hours every morning, Lynn. But you can sing.
Not a lot of people have heard me sing in public. I think my last public singing performance was the 6th grade play, Captain Von Trapp. I was a soprano still in 6th grade, so I think it was a little disconcerting to the crowd to have the Austrian captain standing on stage singing in a high-pitched squeal. But I tell you, I nailed Edelweiss.
Swing and a miss as Fukudome strikes out. For the XRT listeners out there, and there are a lot of them, they'll know that you and I have done a little radio thing for a while, and I was on with you this morning, and we kind of talked you through it, but in the end, I think it was all an act. I think you knew exactly what you were doing today. And
I was strangely calm. Maybe the calm that Sean Penn had in that movie in Dead Man Walking just before he's released from the prison cell. But I was calm. I felt good. Well, it's because I've run into you guys. We've done the Lennon Bob Bash together. I felt like I was among, friends and family.
Well, we appreciate all your support in that regard, and you are a huge baseball fan, and because of the hours you keep, you're able to come out here on a Friday for a 1:20 start and
yes,
around
I
the
am.
bleachers or the grandstand on occasion.
Well, I have my friends out there in right center field. They're just to the right of the restaurant out there. Some of the most dedicated bleacher fans in the game.
Castro grounds out to right. Be nice to see the Cubs get one here today to go 3-1 on this homestand.
They're hitting the ball. I'll tell you what, they're looking pretty good today. I don't think Dickey's knuckler was knuckling.
No. Not the way he wanted it to knuckle. It knuckled right into some of the Cubs' bats today. We like that.
There's something fascinating about watching a knuckler throw the ball. Isn't it fun? Now, you were a catcher. What's the best way to catch a knuckleball pitcher?
I'll steal the line from Bob Uecker. You wait till it stops rolling and go back to the backstop and pick it up.
And you notice Tolle has a different mitt now that a non-knuckleballer is on the mound. He has the normal catcher's mitt.
Those knuckleball mitts look like first baseman's gloves. They're huge.
There's the 1-0 to Bird, and that is a called strike. Lynn, I'm amazed at how often, and I know it's part of your job, how often you get out to the late night rock shows, and most good rock shows don't start at 6:30 in the evening.
It's my life's work,
and I don't know when you sleep, but you pull it off somehow.
Well, as you guys, there's a base hit left field. As you guys know, it's sleep is overrated. You've got to do what you've got to do. I mean, I know you guys are in extra inning games. You got to jump on a plane. You're flying to some other place in America. You're not getting any sleep either. Of course, I'm at rock clubs enjoying myself. You're on a plane eating peanuts.
I understand you. Are you going to write this restaurant guide to come up with post-concert places to eat around the city?
One of the things I have dedicated my life to is eating with gusto. And very often, if you're at a rock show, it's kind of tweener dinner. I don't like to eat the early dinner. So I'm always looking for places to go late at night. After ball games, you guys are probably looking for places to eat. You can't always get tacos at the all-night taqueria. Sometimes you want something a little more or less substantial. I've dedicated myself to finding places to eat late at night. And I as you can tell, I've done pretty well.
Well, Bob will just go to the pizza section because that's all he does on the road.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Kill
Pizza?
that pizza. Yeah.
Well, in our family, the Bramer family, when we're on vacation, we draw up an agenda. The first thing on the agenda, pizza.
Pizza.
Number 2, more pizza.
More pizza.
Number 3, go to the beach. Whatever. Number 4, more pizza. There's a lot of pizza in our lives. Well, you're in a great pizza town here in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. We get spoiled here in Chicago, though, because not every city in the National League has the quality of pizza that we get here at home.
Well, you cover a lot of ground, too. You have the stuffed pizza, the pan pizza. You have the thin crust, traditional Italian Chicago thin crust pizza, which compares favorably to the New York wedge pizza.
Sounds like a chapter from your new book.
You know, I had thought about writing a book. I wasn't sure it was going to be on restaurants. I thought it was going to be more a biography that I could sell to a film company. The Life and Times of Len and Bob. I think that could be big money. For all of us, I'd cut you in.
Just missed on a slider to Ramirez. Well, you know my partner's a big music fan, and
so are you.
You have given not only us, but music listeners throughout the city great tips throughout the years. A lot of music that we haven't heard before.
That's what XRT's been doing. XRT came on the air in 1972, and it's really one of the last stations on Earth where there's a pop fly foul. One of the last stations on Earth where you can hear something from the early days of rock and roll, and then you can hear LCD Sound System or Arcade Fire, what they have just coming out. It's kind of an anachronism. Not a lot of stations still do that, old and new and middle range music.
And if Eddie Vedder comes out with a Cubs song, you play that too.
Oh, I really love that. It sounded like an Irish rebel song to me. Something you could swing your beard to. And believe me, there have been plenty of times after a heartbreaker where I wanted to sing that at the top of my lungs with a pint.
It's popped up by Ramirez out into center, and Carlos Beltran will make the catch. One of our best friends in the world, Lynn Bramer. Nicely done.
Thank you very much, Bob. Always a pleasure.
Regular song.
We'll see you soon.
Whole family, get your gear from the official source, the Cubs.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Get into the 8th. The plan would seem to be, we're not inside Mike Quaddy's mind, but Marshall in the 8th and Marmol in the 9th. Trying to close them out today. Luis Hernandez came into the game in the last half inning. In that 9 spot, he's a switch hitter. Now playing short. Topped off the plate, but a kick back, foul. And again, we do want to thank Lynn and everyone at XRT for all their support of our Bash and Cubs charities. And they've been a wonderful partner. Oh, 2 the count. Fly ball well hit left center, and Luis Hernandez goes yard to make it a 1-run game. That is just his second major league home run. His first came back in '07 as a Baltimore Oriole. So he has had in his career 257 plate appearances and has hit 2 home runs.
Well, that's not the kind of swing that you normally expect to produce a home run. Choked up on the bat, just trying to make solid contact, and that he does, driving that ball about 4 rows up into the bleachers in left center.
Well, that's a good lesson for all you young baseball players out there. You don't have to have a home run swing to hit the ball out of the park.
That will not go down light.
Nope. Pagan lifts to right, but they're going to get him for only the second time today. As Fukudome makes the catch.
Time for our All-State good hands play of the ball game. Blake DeWitt going up the middle of the field with a backhanded stop and flip onto Starlin Castro. Glove to glove, nicely done.
Inside corner, a strike on Duda.
Well, that is only the 3rd home run that Sean Marshall has surrendered this year in over 67 innings of work. Coming to a guy that you just don't expect to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Now they're going to appeal. Yep, he's out. Quaddy coming out, but I think the home plate umpire Brian Gorman saying he got a piece of the ball, but Soto caught it, so that makes it a foul tip.
And nearly impossible for the home plate umpire to see if Gio caught this ball cleanly before it hit the dirt. Third base umpire has a much better look at it. Get a side angle shot here as Gio clearly gets his glove underneath that ball, keeps it out of the dirt. Foul tip, strike 3.
Beltran, high chopper, Castro charging, and he gets him. A few years ago, Beltran beats that out, but not anymore with the knee issues. Boy, he really labored to get down that first base line. Leadoff homer by Hernandez makes it 7-6. Strike one on Nady. Xavier's 2 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs. The Cubs with a 7-6 lead in the bottom of the 8th. And Acosta with a scoreless 7 gave up a hit in that inning. Swinging strike 2. It's up on a slider. Remember, coming up Tuesday night, 5:30 at Sheffield and Addison, Cubs will unveil a statue of Hall of Famer Billy Williams. It's before the Astros and Cubs match up. Nady with hit number 3 today. Time now for the Mass Mutual in-game box score as you look at the Cubs line. 2 more hits for Starlin Castro. Nady with his 3rd hit, but the big blast today at the bottom. How about the 7 and 8 hitters, each with a 3-run homer?
Hiding in the weeds down there at the bottom of the order.
Hey, Bob, we had a nice group here on Wednesday. Group of 58 Knights of Columbus members from Granger, Indiana, were here, led by Joe Stakowitz. We assume they had a great time watching the Cubs win the rubber game against the Pirates. Gotten your thoughts yet on the Nationals Marlins fracas the other night? It was a pretty good one. Major Morgan against pretty much the entire Marlins team. He's had quite a week.
I didn't see the play at the plate when Niger Morgan ran over the catcher, and
it was the night before.
Was it the night before?
Yeah, it was. I have a huge problem with it, but I think it knocked. I think it was Brett Hayes out for the rest of the season, and I think the Nationals understood he was going to get hit for that, and it should have been over. But then Morgan got on. The Nationals were down big, but I think it was only the 4th inning. He stole 2nd, then stole 3rd. The next time he came up, they threw behind him. And I think Jim Riggleman's point was, okay, we get the first one, but did you have to throw at him twice? This is where the unwritten rules get a little fuzzy. Speaking of up and in, did not appear to be intentional at all. 2-2.
Not have been intentional, but that doesn't make it any less scary for Giovanni Soto. That was a chin ball right there, headed right for his face, and he turns out of the way you're supposed to, away from the pitch from our Coors Light RoboCam. That's a close shave right there.
Morgan, by the way, handed an 8-game suspension today for that brawl. Chris Volstead, the guy who threw that second pitch, got a 6-game suspension. Alex Sanabia 5. Gabby Sanchez 3. Edwin Rodriguez, the manager, 1. Doug Slayton, a 3-game suspension for the Nationals. Jim Riggleman got 2. Pat Listash got 3. The third base coach, who ended up in the middle of that pile, lined and caught. And Nady was running on the play, and the throw to first is going to beat him for a double play. Lucas Duda catching that liner and doubling off Nady. So 2 outs.
Sometimes this game just is not fair. Xavier Nady running on the pitch. Giovanni Soto could not have hit that ball any harder. Unfortunately, hit it right at the Mets left fielder. He makes a nice throw back to first to complete the double play. And you really can't fault Xavier Nady on that ball. Hard hit ball into left field, sinking quickly. He was probably having thoughts about going to third base or maybe even scoring if that ball got underneath Duda, but it hung up just long enough for him to make the catch.
Jerry Manuel's going to make a change with Alfonso Soriano coming up. .com for extra content and order today. Right-hander Ryota Igarashi, a strike on Alfonso Soriano. Sixth appearance since coming up from AAA. It's inside. Chiba, Japan. And it's pulled foul. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 8th. DL time earlier this year for Igarashi with a sprained left hamstring. Cubs got to knuckleballer R.A. Dickey today. He gave up a season high 7 runs. The Cubs lead by a run late. About this when it happened, it grabbed all the headlines around baseball. The Mets closer Francisco Rodriguez out for the year with a torn right thumb ligament, allegedly suffered in that infamous scuffle in the family room at Citi Field as Soriano hooked that ball into the left field corner for a double. Number 35 on the year for Soriano. That'll be it for Igarashi. Led the majors in appearances in 2008, 2009, and he might do it again this season. He is currently, this is his 72nd of the year. But Bob has 71 appearances, 49 and a third innings.
Left-handed specialist. Comes in to face that one lefty in the opposing lineup, or in this case, Blake DeWitt down at the bottom of the order in a key situation of a ball game.
Leg kick comes from the side, and DeWitt fouled it off himself. DeWitt's 3-run homer, the go-ahead shot. Cubs trying to hang on. They'd love to grab at least another run here to give Carlos Marmol some extra cushion in the ninth. He's hitting just .226 against Feliciano, and that'll go down after that at bat. Here comes the ninth, and here comes Carlos Marmol. Cubs 7, Mets 6. Rice, whose 2000 Super Sectional game ended in controversy. Don't miss the game broadcast premiere September 11th at 3 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. Tyler Colvin comes in to play left for Alfonso Soriano. And the closer, Carlos Marmol, is in to pitch. 7-6, the Cubs with a lead. David Wright will lead it off the last 2 innings. Starting with Wright in the 7th, the Mets hit a leadoff home run. Slider strike.
David Wright 0 for 3 lifetime against Carlos Marmol with a couple of punch-outs. We talked about his base running, base stealing speed. You'd definitely like to keep this guy off the bases to start the ninth.
Wright really turned away from that slider, and that one came back over the heart of the plate. 0-2. High fly ball into center. Wynn starting to push it out, but Marlon Byrd will make the catch right at the edge of the track.
Oof. Had it all the way. Carried a lot further than it looked like it was going to when it initially came off the bat, but that wind continues to push everything to center and right field a lot deeper than it should be.
Davis has singled, walked twice, and flied to left. 15 home runs, tied for 4th among all rookies. Tyler Colvin leads the way with 19. Two and two. Got him on a slider. 2 down.
A little harder for Carlos to find the release point on that slider with a left-handed hitter at the plate, but once he does, just pounds away at the strike zone. Davis cannot pull the trigger on strike 3.
Joaquin Arias. No hits. He did knock in a run in the first inning. Low and outside. Low, 2-1. Henry Mejia, Carlos Zambrano tomorrow. That is a 12:05 first pitch. Schedule you have may say 3 o'clock, but it's a noon start here at Wrigley Field. 12:05 in Game 2. Gusting right now. Out to right center. It's 3-2. It's golfed up in the air as Fukudome doesn't know where it is. It's going to land foul, thankfully. Wind, sun, just about every possible condition.
And the ball wasn't really hit that high in the air for anybody to have time to get underneath it. Fukudome looked right up into the sun and lost it immediately. Blake DeWitt, really the closest Cub defender to that ball, and even he couldn't get there in time.
Side ball 4. Inning alive for Tolley. Here's a pitch. Slider missed. 1-2. Tough take.
Yeah, real tough take. Looked like a strike on the inside corner until that late movement. There's another one, almost an identical location. You know, of all the hitters in this Mets lineup, Tolley figures to be the kind of hitter that would give Marmol the most trouble because he's not trying to overpower the ball. choked up and spread out in that batter's box. He's just trying to make contact.
To left, Tyler Coleman makes the catch. Cubs win 7-6 the final as James Russell gets his first major league victory. So in back-to-back games, 2 Cubs relievers getting their first ever win. It was Thomas Diamond on Wednesday, and today it's Russell. And the Cubs were able to get to the knuckleballer today, Bob.
Yeah, really nice job. Good adjustments at the plate, and you have to make an adjustment before the game even starts against a knuckleball pitcher, and the Cubs did that today.
Time for our GMC player of the game, the guy who had the game-winning home run, Blake DeWitt. Pretty quiet start to the homestand. A nice defensive play, and the big 3-run homer to win it.
Giving the Cubs some left-handed punch down at the bottom of that batting order. He's come up with some big home runs already in his time here as a member of the Cubs.